Hello and welcome to HRI Utilities with me, Ramit, where today I shall be doing a video about virtualization, more specifically the virtualization of operating systems. So I will begin by explaining what virtualization is. I will then move on to explain who would use virtualization and why, and I shall finish the video by actually virtualizing Windows. So I will be using VirtualBox for this tutorial, which is created by Oracle. You will find a link to the description, link to VirtualBox in the description of this video. Let's begin, shall we? Virtualization is the act of creating a virtual or non-physical or non-real component, so a piece of hardware or application or operating system that is based within storage. So it can either be permanent or long-term storage, like that within an SSD or hard drive, or it can be a shorter term memory like RAM. So why do we virtualize servers? We virtualize servers because we want to get the most out of the hardware that we have put into it. So with servers especially, they will spend quite a lot, if not all their time, idling and doing absolutely nothing. So you put a virtual operating system on it. You can then lend it out to people to test stuff on, or you can put a virtual operating system on it and test your own stuff on it. And another reason you'd want to virtualize it is if you wanted a safe and clean development area for any reason. Like if you were going to test a website for the first time. Okay, so this is the VirtualBox website, link in the description, obviously. And why would people pick VirtualBox over other virtualization softwares? Well, VirtualBox is open source, so anyone can get access to the source code, technically, and anyone can create their own add-ons or edit. Well, not fully edit, but within reason, edit the source code. Downloads, and I will be downloading VirtualBox for Windows. As you can see, it will take a long time to do so. It is relatively large. You can also get the OS X hosts version, or the Solaris host version, or the Linux host version, all of which I appear to already have in Oracle Virtual Manager, VirtualBox Manager. Sorry, Oracle Virtual Machine VirtualBox Manager. My mistake. So once you've installed that, you just go on through the installation process as you would if you were installing a normal program. Okay, so once you have your virtualization, once you have VirtualBox actually installed, you go click New, and you select the operating system you're using. For this, we shall just select Windows, Microsoft Windows, sorry. And normally the amount of RAM that it dedicates is what VirtualBox would say is the minimum required RAM. There isn't much difference between choosing different operating systems except the amount of RAM it will default give you. If I wanted, I could change this all the way to 8 gigs if I wanted to crash my computer or start using virtual memory, which I don't, so I won't. So then this will be a test. Okay, yep, create a virtual hard disk. Yep, 256 megabytes. Okay, and then you can choose the type of hard drive, virtual hard drive that you will be creating, the file type, so dynamically allocated and fixed size. So there is a difference between dynamically allocated and fixed size. Dynamically allocated hard drives will increase in size until they reach their maximum size. So they will start off very small and slowly increase in size as they are needed. The advantage of this is that you will still have space for other stuff on the hard drive once you've created it. However, fixed size creates a dedicated space on your hard drive for the virtual hard drive, and it will create it, and it will not decrease or increase in size. The advantage of this being it is quicker to write to the disk. However, it will take longer, and it will take longer to set up, obviously, especially if you wish to create a virtual hard drive that is 2 terabytes in size, but I have no idea why you'd want to do that. Okay, so this is now your virtual machine. If you launch your virtual machine, you will notice this is the BIOS, and it has crashed because there is no bootable medium. This would be an ISO file or an executable disk. Power it off, please. This is where you go into your settings menu. So here you can mess with all kinds of things with this and this and this. So system, you can change the amount of RAM, you can choose the boot order, so hard disk, then CD. No one uses floppy disks much. The chipset type it's using, pointing devices, yes, all the extended features, processors, so 4s, that's how many processors I have. Yes, of course. So, and this is how much of the processor it is allowed to use at any one time. For now, I will set it to 75% on 2 cores. And acceleration. Okay, in your display settings, you can set up how many monitors there are and how much video memory you're dedicating to it. Obviously, you can set up the remote display and video capture if you wished. Storage, we will go over this later, because that is where you set up your ISOs and such for your operating system to be installed. You can choose your audio controller as well as your audio driver, network attached to NAT network, all kinds of things. I don't advise that you touch these unless you know what you're doing with these. Obviously, yeah, see. Serial ports, I'm not very certain about these. I would require to do research. USB, obviously enable USB 2, USB filters, all these kinds of things, and shared folders. So these are folders that are shared between the host and the virtual server. So back to storage. From here you can, so for the controller IDE, you can add a CD or a hard drive. Firstly, I would like to wait, where is this located? F drive, therefore it is a solid state. And you can choose a hard disk file, so if I go to F drive, yes, servers, VMOS, yeah. Okay, so that is the hard drive, 25 gigabytes, that should be enough for whatever we're going to be testing. So from here, you can select, choose a virtual CD. So, Ubuntu Server, Ubuntu Desktop, Ubuntu Desktop, Ubuntu Server, Windows SQL Server, which you probably don't want to launch unless you have an operating system, Visual Studio, probably don't want to launch without an operating system, and Windows Server 2012 64-bit. That is what we shall be using. Okay. Wait. Now, if we start the server, that is the BIOS, and Windows is now loading the required files. And then you go through the normal Windows installation process, which I will speed up for your enjoyment. Then you can go through the usual process of setting up Windows, which I will go through as well as I can. So as you can see, it is a bit laggy, so I don't advise that you do stupid stuff like play games on these virtual machines. These are designed for work, obviously. English, United Kingdom, please. Input method, United Kingdom extended. That is all fine. Install now. Setup is beginning. And it is also not responding. No, it's just loading stuff. Let's say I have to close it. I would like to save the machine state. This will create a snapshot of the machine. Is what state the machine is in when you turn it off. So when I relaunch the virtual machine, I will continue from where I was. There you go. A snapshot is similar to saving the machine state. However, you save it onto your hard drive and you can load it from a later point. Why would this be useful? Well, I kinda like being able to restore from a previous save when everything used to work. Machine, take a snapshot. Name, snapshot 1, description, test snapshot. From here you should, if I remember correct, yes. And there is the snapshot. Current state changed. Snapshot 1. And then it should be show details control space, yes. And then restore snapshot. So you can create a snapshot of the current state of the virtual machine first by select. Yep. You do not do this. This current state will be permanently lost. Yes, I would like to do that. No, I do not. I do not wish to do this. And then it will just restore it to what it was in snapshot 1. Now I will go and activate Windows. Well, once you have entered your Windows Server 2012 or whatever operating system you're using key, you will sometimes be met with this page. Server core installation or server with GUI or whatever the options you are given. I will go with server with a GUI, please, because I'm boring that way. Yeah, blah blah blah. Microsoft custom install Windows, unallocated space 25 gigabytes, 0%. Now this is copying. Keep in mind this is copying to an SSD, so it might be faster. I am definitely going to cut this bit out because it's gonna take forever. See you in a few hours, guys. See you in a few hours. I'm just gonna put my headphones down now. I know. I've been waiting here for so long. Don't know what happened to me. Administrator password. Oh, this is gonna be an interesting one. I know. I'm deciding on a password that I can use for this. It's beginning. Ow, 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 my head. Well, something crashed at the beginning. And there you go. Windows Server 2012 standard build 2900. Well, 9200. Let's run Internet Explorer and see how well that goes. Well, let's see if we can connect to Google then. Microsoft. Or even Bing. Well, surely you should meh. So yeah, see? You can launch all your servers as you would after it's done whatever the updates it needs to do are. Thank you for this video and sticking through it. From this point onwards, you should be able to run this as you would any other operating system. And obviously, once you have multiple ways of connecting to the server at once, once you have multiple networking interfaces, then you can just give this its own dedicated network interface if you want to do that. Thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and goodbye.